Hello everybody, welcome back. Another episode of Adventures in Beekeeping. Um, just a quick note. Um, this is not a how-to video, or my videos are not a how-to video. I'm no expert at all. This is more of a journal of me and my adventures through beekeeping and my starting beekeeping. My second year, obviously. There's a lot to learn. I've learned a lot, but I just wanted to put that out there. I had my club president actually said he saw one of my videos. He said he fell asleep during it, which I thought was kind of funny, and so he didn't like it very much, obviously. And it wasn't intended for him. It really was more intended for me, first and foremost, as a journal, so I can look back and see what I did right, did wrong, when I did it, and then also for hopefully newer beekeepers that are following along and seeing what I'm doing, and maybe something that can help them in the future, a mistake maybe that I made that they can avoid in the future. So that's really what my video series is all about. So again, like I said, I didn't really intend it for a guy like my president of my bee club to look at and critique, because obviously he's going to know more than I do. I mean, it's that simple. So anyways, today I'm going to be doing a couple of things here. I've got a package that I'm going to install, and I'm going to install it in a unique way into these mini mating nucs. I'm going to put three queens. I'm going to put 3 queens and spread the package over 3 mini mating nucs. Now these are mini mating nucs, obviously, but they're also just mini nucs. So what I'm going to do is start 2 colonies, or actually just start 3 colonies with already mated queens. Now this one right here, this hive I started. If you remember a couple episodes ago, I split. Took one frame out and I split it out, and we're on May 16th here. We're about 17 days past the day that I installed a queen cell, and I kind of want to see how it's doing. I don't see a whole lot of bees coming in or out. I lost a lot to drift. I moved this hive 9 miles away, but I might have moved it a little too late. They still never took any syrup out of here, which I just thought was really funny for them. But let's see how they are faring, if they are faring well at all. Actually, there's bees in there, so we'll have to see. This is probably too much pollen patty for this 2-frame nuke. This stuff turns into absolute goo after a while, but obviously they haven't done anything in this thing. And I just kind of want to see what if the queen hatched or what. There's hardly any. You can see there's hardly any bees at all in this hive. That's it. I don't know if that's enough to make it survive. If you can see, the queen cells have all hatched out. I don't see a queen in here, but that doesn't mean that there isn't one here. Should be easy to see because like I said, there's not very many bees here. Oh, there actually might be one right there. Or she might be in the box here too. Not a lot of bees there for sure. This might be a failed experiment for me because I didn't account for all the drift. of the bees. They went back to the original hive. I don't see a virgin queen in here anywhere. Doesn't mean that she's not here. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna put this back, and we're just gonna kind of let this colony be. You never know what's gonna happen. It could fail. You know you're gonna get failures. It's gonna happen. It was just an experiment. And since they're not using the syrup anyways, I'm not going to give them any more. And then I'm just going to give them a little bit of pollen patty. They don't need much. Okay. So the next thing we've got going on here, let me get this out of the way. This is actually going to go next to the other one over there, but for now, when we set it up, that's how I want to set it up. Now these two mini mating nucs have the dial here for, I'm just going to put it on vent for right now. And this one I'm going to put on vent. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spread 3 pounds of bees over these 3 nucs, put a queen in each one. Now the queen that came with the package I'm going to leave with this one, and this one is going to be the open one, because that's where you know, any stray bees will come back to. But these two I'm going to close. It's getting to be evening here. We're a little bit shaded. I'm going to close them off for the evening, and then tomorrow morning I'll crack it open. I'll come out here early. I'll crack these open, and I'll have the queens in there, and they should orient to their new locations instead of drifting over to where the queen that they've been traveling with for 3 days is living. So that's what I'm trying to prevent. But let's get the bees out. I've never attempted anything like this before, so you know, just bear with me. So what I got here is a little bit of sugar water. There we go. I'm going to spray them with a little sugar water here. Okay. That should do it. These bees get a little irritated when they're wet down and smashed around, but let's see what we can do here. at least this one came with a plastic container, and I can tell this can is completely empty here. Here's the queen cage. Whoa! All right. There she is. She's alive and well. We're gonna set her right here for now. I'm gonna go get a few frames and get this thing ready. New frames with new foundation, and also some built-out comb, which will work for our nukes. And then looks like I have one older frame, and that'll work there. So we're gonna kind of get this already started here. Like I said, this is all gonna be a unique experience for me. So, okay, now I gotta get the queen cages ready. Alrighty, this one, the candy end is on this end, so I'm going to pull this plug out right here. Okay, here's the plug. We're going to take her and I'm going to set her down, actually, into the wax. And then drop this one in there. All right. Okay, now I need the top for it. All right, second frame, second queen. Down and in. Gonna stick that one in there. Plug out of that one. And we're going to stick her in here. Pointing down again. So, whoops. That one is all wax, it seems. So we're gonna slide this one over, slide this one down. This one isn't going in like I had hoped because it's all wax. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay, close that up. Close that up. And I forgot to give them a little piece of pollen here. Alrighty. See how it goes. It will be an interesting experiment for show. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. It's kind of been an eventful few days here. In my one video I split a package up between 3 hives, and I bought 2 Carniolan queens, and I used the Italian that came with the package, and I made 3 mini hives with it. And that was 3 days ago that I installed that. So this morning I went out to see if the queens had been released, and I had an interesting morning, to say the least. The first hive, the first 2 hives I did were the Carniolans, and I opened the first hive up and pulled the frame with the queen in it, with the queen cage in it, and the queen was still in there along with a ton of bees. And the way I don't know why they shipped it this way, but they put a little piece of cloth right over the candy. And I don't know why, but when the bees ate the candy on the way in, the cloth dropped down so bees could come in, but bees weren't going out. So I had a whole bunch of bees inside this cage, and the queen was still in there, and they apparently couldn't get out. So, and I didn't really understand what was going on when I just first looked at it. So and the bees were all over the cage. So I was shaking. I shook the cage off a little bit, and you know, there were the bees crawling all over it. And I started, you know, I opened the cork one end, and I was trying to shake bees out and onto a frame. And when I started looking, all of a sudden there was no pink queen in there, and I didn't have a clue what the hell happened to her. I was looking all over the frame, I couldn't find her. It didn't even dawn on me. And so I closed that hive up, gave him some sugar water. I'm like, well, maybe I just didn't see him. The second hive, the Carniolan queen, it was the same thing. The queen was still in the cage. The candy had been eaten through. There was a few less bees in that cage. So what I did was, you know, I peeled back, I shook the bees out, and then I peeled back the screen, and I was kind of like shaking them onto the frame, and the queen went, and she just started flying off. And at the last second, I kind of half swatted her, and she just kind of flew back down and landed right on the frame. And immediately, and then she started walking around. Thank God. It didn't even dawn on me that the first hive, that when I was shaking, that the queen took off and flew away. So that was probably $40 down the drain for that one. That's what I'm going to assume happened for that. Okay, so yeah, so it didn't even dawn on me that the first queen had flown away, and that just blew my mind. So, oh well, live and learn. That's why we do this, you know. And I forgot all about, you know, I'll be honest with you, I was doing it, and it just didn't even dawn on me to do my little trick here with the queen cage here. So the third queen that I opened up, she was released, and that was the cage that came with the bees, and that didn't have the cloth. So the queen had been released, and I pulled the frame, she was crawling around the frame. I used this little queen catcher, put it down, marked her, and then well, actually I let the bunch of bees that were trapped in there escape. Then I marked her, and then I just did just released her back onto the frame, and everything went good. Closed her up, added some sugar, we were good. So I got 2 of my 3 of that split package should do okay.